News just in, the centre's review petition challenging the commutation of Rajiv Gandhi's killers by the Supreme Court has been dismissed. The Supreme Court on the 18th of February had commuted the death sentence of Rajiv Gandhi's killers to life. And now a petition by the centre on the issue has been dismissed by the Supreme Court. Well, this was an inflammatory issue that has taken centre stage ever since the centre got involved. The commutation of sentence has become a deeply contentious issue also between the state and the centre. But this has now been dismissed by the Supreme Court. Returning to that big breaking news coming in here on Headlines Today, the centre's review petition challenging the commutation of Rajiv Gandhi's killer's death sentence by the Supreme Court has been dismissed by the Apex Court. The Supreme Court on February the 18th had commuted the death sentence of Rajiv killers to life imprisonment in view of the massive delay in the processing of the clemency plea by the state. The Supreme Court had on the 18th of February commuted the death sentence to the 5 killers to life imprisonment, becoming one of the most contentious decisions yet that has been challenged by the centre. Its review petition now on the commutation of that death sentence to life imprisonment has been dismissed. Legal options for the centre now running thin. Obviously, there is also the parallel track of the Tamil Nadu government which wants to provide clemency to the killers of former Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi. But this pertains to the review petition that was filed by the centre, which has now been dismissed by the highest court in the land. Jaskirat Singh Bava is with us. Jaskirat, take us through the details.
Well, sure. What we have so far is in unexpected lines, because this particular review petition was based on the Shatrughan Chauhan review petition, which was dismissed earlier last month. If I can just run our views through this. This review petition was only challenging the commutation of the death sentences of Rajiv Gandhi's assassin. That judgment was based on the landmark judgments of the Supreme Court, which was made in January, which laid down the guidelines for commuting the death sentences to life sentences. Now, based on that, it was a spillover effect. It was pretty much on expected lines. Now the government can file a curative petition, although the statistical chances of a curative petition succeeding in the Supreme Court is bare minimum and almost a fraction of a chance. So right now, those avenues are over. However, the existing case of the release of these convicts by the Tamil Nadu government is ongoing in the Supreme Court, where the centre has challenged the Tamil Nadu government's jurisdiction in this matter.
Thanks, Jaskirat, for getting us the very latest on that. But what about the legal options, Jaskirat? Are there any more legal options that the centre will be exploring at this time?
Like I said, the curative petition is the last legal approach for the centre as far as the Supreme Court is concerned. But as I said before, the curative petitions have a very a decimal fraction of a point of a success rate in the Supreme Court. So that would be an option available to the government if they really want to push this case forward. But one can imagine the government wanting to do that, especially because, let's say, in the Bullard case, which is also related to this, because even in the Bullard case, the government had to take a step back after the Supreme Court dismissed their main review petition against the actual landmark judgment, which laid down the guidelines, which has resulted in the commutation of 19 different death sentences into life in prison this year itself. In light of that particular review petition getting dismissed, the government doesn't have much of a ground to actually take their case forward with.